He didn't want to take them back. He said you're just gonna come in.
I'm about to take them that shit back, man. Put your fingers in there.
I'm sorry you don't like it.
I'm just saying, put your fingers in there.
I don't know what I'm feeling.
Dried up as this is like
I'm
smoking
sorry.
old cigarettes, man.
I'm sorry. I try my best.
Shit ain't stale. Stale as fuck.
What? That's where I got the last one.
It's like when you smoke over dried weed where it's just stale as hell. That's like an old cigarette just been sitting in the ashtray for a week, 2 weeks. That's what this shit is like.
I'm sorry. I don't know who else is selling it. Nobody right now. So I was. Nothing's good enough that I do. Fucking. You get free tobacco from a crippled bitch, but when you open the bag, I bring you the first bag, it's fucking stale. You didn't even open it. Okay, so I had to go back to the store again. So I ride down there, I get another fucking bag of the tobacco, and I bring it back. I'm standing outside getting ready to take off on my bike. He comes out, stick your hand in this. Well, I don't know what I'm touching, what I'm feeling. I don't smoke those. I don't know what I'm feeling. Well, it's just like if you have a cigarette sitting around for 2 weeks and then you pick it up and smoke it. Oh my God. It's not good enough that you have free stuff from a crippled woman and you don't have to lift your finger. You can sit and watch as much fighting and porn as you could possibly watch until you're exhausted. You got cigarettes to smoke, to roll, you got fucking water to drink, you got food, you got your food stamps, they're giving you a couple hundred a month. You don't buy nothing I want to eat, but God bless you. You got everything you fucking need. You don't got an electric bill to pay, you don't got shit to do, but fucking complain. And send the crippled bitch out to do your fucking deeds for you while you stay hiding in the house, talking about, they shoot motherfuckers out here. Yeah, I should be so lucky. Oh well, hopefully if somebody gets on my chat, I'll be able to see. I don't think I can turn this light on though. That's the funny thing. Oh, I do got a light. I can turn that light on. It's like, the store's closed now. What are you're coming out to tell me it's stale? Why? The store's closed now. I did 2 trips to the store. It's not good enough for you, but now you're gonna come out and I'm trying to get on a bike ride. And you're gonna be complaining. What do you want me to do about the tobacco, demon? What do you want me to do about it? Nothing I can do right now. All the stores are closed. You see? They set up impossible situations and then they get angry with you like it's your fault. No, it's not my fault. If you had a income coming in, you could go buy your own shit and then you could blame yourself if you don't like it. See, isn't it perfect? Get everybody else to do all your work for you, then when you're not happy about it, you can blame everyone else except for yourself. I'm living the microcosm of the macrocosm of the society that's set up like vampires feeding upon its prey. See? And those who figured out how to get away with not working and not having any responsibilities and all this, just taking stuff from other people, these are the ones that rule. So, I didn't want to talk about that though. I wanted to talk about the Adsby exchange, the Globe Adsby exchange that I'm looking at daily, nightly, whatever, daily and nightly, where there's like 5 or 6 areas of the country that I noticed where these patrols are going all the time. They are National Guard. Sometimes they come from other states to pitch in, but sometimes it's just like guys, aircraft, I want to say, from that particular state. And what I'm thinking is, okay, they're guarding all the tunnels, the entrances. If I can name them, like Corpus Christi, down by Laredo, Texas. That's the one on the east side that goes through the west side of Mexico. It goes right under Laredo. Corpus Christi, and then the New Orleans, the one that comes all the way down from frickin' Canada, practically, along the Mississippi River or underneath the Mississippi River. There's got to be spots along the way where these things can come up into the land somehow, up into the buildings, up into like the river. I don't know what. If you're in a submarine, maybe they got like, you could get out of the sub underground and then take some stairs and get up to the street, because you don't know what they got in the basement of all these buildings, especially stuff built by the rivers, next door to the rivers. Then you could have, they dock the submarine down there. They bring the delivery of, small Mongolian boys, Nepalese boys, whatever they ordered. And then you go have your satanic ritual party, if that's what they do. And because people are allowed to be certain things, but I'm not allowed to point it out that they're doing it, or else it's bullying and harassing. So there can be all kinds of different groups that you can imagine. You can imagine some of these groups, and it's okay for them to put groups, like their group videos up, Heil Hitler, whatever. But if I make a video and mention these groups, not anything about it, just like I was showing a short on my channel one time, and I said, these people got their the wrong idea about who the Ukrainians are, who they're supporting. They have the wrong idea, because here they are doing the Heil Hitler salute. Been on YouTube for the last 8 years, as long as they've been invading Ukraine and bombing civilians there. That's when this video went up. And certain people can say it, like Roseanne, she can say it. Some of the TikTok people, they can say it. I've seen them on YouTube. But if KaliKaren says it in her video, no. They're going to strike that. They're going to put me on a timeout. They're going to take away my my ability to contact other people, just like they just got done doing, and this is the first day I could actually make another video. But what I see up there is what I came out for, actually. What is this? Oh, I'm supposed to stop at the stop sign, and then I can ride my bicycle right through here, right through this path right here. But see, the people are going 60, so you'd be lucky if you don't get run over. Okay, now I can see it. Now I see that moon coming up. I wanted to get that on my video. Look at this shit. I should have a place to go up on the sidewalk, because how are you going to stop the traffic? They want people to get killed. Like, there's the trail over there. See how they got all this traffic calming stuff. How am I going to stop the cars from coming? There's no button to push or nothing. It's just it's stupid. Let me get my bike up here, you guys. Okay, there's the actual moon. But of course there's a wire in the way. I guess I gotta stand out in the middle of the road then. That's what I gotta do. Because it's sure super full. See, I always get kind of frightened on the super full moons, because that's when the demons come out. And last month, what was it, 6/12? 6/12, I got beat on the head with a metal pole because the demon got hungry and said I ignored him for 3 days, and he lied. He lied and said, oh, I asked you 3 times at 3 different days to take me. No, you didn't. You didn't ask me to do nothing for you. You just complain. I'm hungry. You think you could take me? See, he's mixing up the days, because the day before, like Thursday, before my foot really started hurting bad, he was like, oh, can you take me to the store later? Which I did. Took him to the Jack in the Box. He got all of his junk food, all that. Then he mixed up the Friday and Saturday and Sunday, because he put them all together and said, I asked you for 3 days to take me to the store, but actually the first day he asked me, I took him. But see, they never are satisfied. Nothing's ever enough. They've never taken enough or insulted you enough or nothing like that enough. There is always more they want to do to you, more they want to take. See, that's the full moon right there. My camera kind of sucks though. Let's go back a little bit. Let's see. Just coming up. In my older life, my old life that I used to have, I would be down by the river having a drum circle right now, playing my little hand flute and bringing my drums to play, and people would be dancing, and this is what I like to do when I have control over my own life and what I do in my life. But right now I have no control over my own life. That's why I say I'm a human trafficking victim. I was wondering why my fucking leg was getting wet. Sprinklers coming on right when I'm standing there. Oh shit, this place crazy. Sacrament City. Everyone's here for the sacrifice. Hey, I don't know. Oh, Red. Hi. Oh my gosh. I'm still talking about getting the fuck out of here. How are you doing? I know you're down there in FLA. I just sent my other video to upload about the subtunnels. It was information that I got from. Okay, Good. If you're still doing Home Depot, let me know. But oh, that's you hitting like you and a guy named Richard Reese. So I'm grateful because since I got my Telegram channel, what's happened is they're like suppressing my YouTube by 10 times. So if you see a video like my Ohio River going dry video that got 800 likes, it's probably 8,000 likes. Oh, you're back in New Jersey. Well, shit, they got fucking tunnels under the whole of New Jersey because it shit ain't that big. And, oh, blackball, just like they blackballed me out of the damn AT&T, stole my pension, fired me. Union didn't say shit about it. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. See, I'm KaliKaren too on Telegram, and I was just saying my other video, I'm going to do another video about where the ads, the globe dot ads be exchange, which is the all the commercial flights and military flights on the radars, because I just did a little video. Ended up being 18 minutes. That was uploading. I used a picture of the subtunnels across the America, and I show where Corpus Christi, Laredo, Texas, San Diego, Los Angeles, actually the San Francisco Bay, Puget Sound, the waterways at Delaware. I don't know what that inlet is, but at the north part of the Chesapeake Bay, those are all entrances to the underground subtunnels that they can. And I'm trying to talk about these National Guardsmen that I see on the radars, just doing circle over an area until they're out of gas, and then another plane will come, and sometimes there's like even more of them, like five or six at a time. You know, now the bus is stopping because there's not room for it at that intersection. I gotta take my life in my hands with the ghost bus. Look, nobody's on these buses. Nobody's on the buses. They're ghost buses. You see, that's how you know that the public transportation should have been free to begin with, when they can still operate even though nobody's on there paying a fare. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta do the next video. I'm gonna do another screen capture, and I'm gonna go on to the ADS-B exchange and show what I'm talking about with the subtunnel video. Because I basically did a screen capture, and then I did screenshots, and I drew with the magic marker, like to my best of my recollection, like what different states we're looking at and where the tunnels are in relation to those. Because they got to be huge. They got to be huge because you don't know what's down there. And some of the openings, they may call them subtunnels, but they may be able to like ride a whole ship under there. You know, maybe the whole tunnel isn't filled, and it has like air at the top and water on the bottom, and we don't know because the Elon Musk, I think, was building more tunnels with those boring machines, with that Walmart stuff. Yes, and then those cities probably, that's what I was talking about, Red. They got like warehouses and properties that no one ever, there's no record for it because it was never sold to anybody. There's a lot of that in Virginia. Even the house that I lived at on First Road, there's no property records until like the 75 or something like that. No property records. That means that the assessor's office never reported who was the house was built in the 50s, but for 20 years they have no record of it in the title companies. That's sus. That is so sus. And that's one of the things, because I looked up my own, my own addresses in these states and place where I grew up. No record. So like my dad's name is not anywhere in there if he owned that house, and which I think he did, because his uncle, the Lions Club guy and all that, was a realtor. Gordon Meeks, or Gordon Meekins. Like the Gordon Meek guy that they caught. Who was he? An ABC director? Some ABC producer? His name was Gordon Meeks. That's the that's the real estate company my dad's uncle worked for, Gordon Meekins in Virginia. Okay? They're all connected. It's just generation after generation after generation. And these properties where the tunnels connect to the sub-underground tunnels, nobody knows that you can get to those tunnels from those properties, because they've never allowed anyone who is not down with their program, they never allowed anybody to know that that shit is in there. See, that's the reason why whenever there's like going to be an auction or something, they go and the Masons get that property however they need to do it. If they got to use severed horse heads or you don't know what, right? They don't allow those properties to get in the hands of any of us. So we have to look at this. That's what I was talking about. Like here, there's a lot. I'm walking by right now. Let me get up to this corner and then I'll show you. This was let me flip my camera around. This is the scam. I've tried to tell people this. This is the scam, vacant lot. I'm trying to flip my camera. Why is it not working? Vacant lot behind this fence. Oh no, it's not this one. It's another block down. What I'm trying to say is Kevin Johnson had his people buy up these plots of land, and I don't know how they did it. I know one plot of land. I was trying to contact the owner so I could make an offer and find out why it was just sitting there and he's gone out of the state. Who was he? A pilot. Where had he moved? To Oregon, Clackamas County. Dude never answered my letters, right? And he had like criminal record here from like squatting in properties, so I know he's one of them. All of a sudden, the house is on 33rd Street. It was a duplex. All of a sudden, it's being fixed up on, and it's in the name of a Chinese, right? Who did Kevin Johnson mayor marry while he was in office? Either divorced his wife that he had children with, or let go of his baby mama and got him what? An Asian lady that was appointed to the Department of Education by Obama. And so his wife is a Chinese. See, that's it. That's one lot under that light. And this is one right here. Oh, look. Now they're finally doing something with it. Because you can see. I could turn my flashlight on. They got an outhouse right here. I think that's an outhouse. A porta potty. And this is the property. You can see the fence is open. Somebody's probably going to build an apartment building like that one there. I don't know if you can see it. See, they bought and squatted on all these lots. And they're not all just Can't really see it. They're not all just properties like this. Some of them got houses on them. Some of them are on the river. But see, they used to have a sign here saying, "Oh, if you have questions about this property, call this number." Nobody ever called me back. I called those numbers. Nobody ever called me back. Now, it's who do you think is building? I would say the Sheenas. Oh yeah, see, they're doing both lots together now. They got their blood money because here's another porta potty. How many years has Kevin Johnson been out of office? Like 15 years out of office. So the properties they bought for $30,000 are now selling like this for probably $100,000. And they've had the fence here to keep people from camping. They got, if you want to camp here, it's okay now. They don't break up the camps about every 2 weeks, but you got to camp on the sidewalk. And I don't know how many of my videos I've been able to post that show all the people out on the sidewalk. But they had one of them down at the river overlooking the fucking yacht club. It was just horrific. You got the poorest of the poor suffering in life. And what is their view? All the rich mofos with their boats. I guess somebody said that I did. I said it was horrific down there. Yeah, I think you did. I remember you making comments about your brother, that he was here. And now that I think about it, sometimes I go back and look at those videos again, but 15 years he's been out of office. They're the ones who bought up all these properties and then kind of like froze them. So people like me who were, trying to learn how to buy real estate and do, be a productive citizen, earn some kind of income, help get rid of the neighborhood blight and all. No, we had our hands tied. And what happened? The people I was involved with end up stealing all the rest of the stuff that I had in my storage. I know you remember this one, right? With the Ukrainian mafia guy. The people who run the facilities, the county facilities downtown on I Street, because everything is Masonic here. They called this guy. He didn't know the man who owned that house that he said I could rent. And then he wouldn't give me an application because my friend who was going to move there with me was black. Yeah, her mom, she grew up here in this area, but her mom was from Rwanda. And her mom was actually one of them people. She used to like travel back and forth. She was all like sewing her money into her clothes and stuff, to transfer money from Uganda to here and stuff. And I don't think Betty was down with all that. Betty was like, she could have been like an engineer if she hadn't had 5 children. And one who was a special needs. She had 4 boys, and her last child was a daughter who, she had so many birth defects. She was really struggling to take care of all of those children by herself. But yeah, she could have, I think she did actually get a scholarship to go to school, but it didn't work out because probably she had her first kid. Anyway, the Russian-Ukrainian guy, bless his heart, if he has one, he wouldn't give me the application to give her. And then he ended up coming and changing the locks on the house while I was out prospecting with my other partner that I met, that I did make a little, little cheddar with. But we did 3 deals together, but I don't have any of that cheddar left. You live in a place where it's unaffordable, you spend the cheddar. You can't save nothing. So, yeah, they end up stealing my appliances, putting my nice brand new futon sleeper sofa out in the rain, left it all like that. I had to go live in a freaking trap house down the street. And then that guy freaked out the next morning. He's talking about, you said you were going to bring me money, beating on the wall and pounding the wall and was trying to scare me. Dude, I'm not going to do whatever it is you're trying to scare me into doing. I said, you know, just let me get up and give me a chance. He came beating on the wall 6 o'clock in the morning at the trap house down the street because I didn't have anywhere else to go. And all my shit was sitting out in the middle of the street in the cul-de-sac because that Ukrainian just wanted to use me to clean the house. He didn't want to rent me the house, actually, but it was going to be like $1,200. He didn't own the house. He said, oh yeah, it's my friend's house. That was a lie. His buddies down at the facilities, the county facilities, told him, oh, we got this guy. He owns several properties. You need to come and we'll put your name on the visitors list. He went and talked to him because I went to see the guy myself. He was in jail for evading the popo when they had already taken his one vehicle and suspended his license. And then they caught him again. So he was trying to outrun them. They had him in jail for evading felony evasion. He wasn't getting out anytime soon. He was a trap house in himself. And I said, well, how did you meet Michael? I don't know if that's what he called himself to him, but that's what I called him. He said, just like I'm meeting you. You came in to visit me one day. Oh, I said, so why are you letting him make money off of me? I'm a poor, disabled person too, just like you. Why are you letting him? Let me just pay you directly because he's refusing to give my friend an application because she's black. And he, you know, you can't take anything to write on. You can't take your phone in there. You can't take a pencil or pen. It's because of all the, you know, the organized groups that are in there can secretly pass messages to, you know, Natty Bumpo somebody in there. And they don't want to facilitate that. So, like, you can't take nothing in there. Photographs, nothing into the facilities there when you go visit people. So I just had to sit down and talk to the guy. It's like, you don't know this guy from Adam, but he's tricked me into moving into your house. And the guy was like, well, I can pay you for the cleaning that you did. I said, well, I wasn't done cleaning when him and his woman, his side bitch, came back from Miami from a 2-week vacation, probably where all the other Ukrainian mafiosos go. And because he had to impress the side bitch because he was still married, and she thought she was going to get married to him. And I bet you now, it's 3-4 years later, I bet you he still haven't gotten divorced because he's stringing her along. That's what they all do. They lie to everybody. And that bitch came in there yelling at me and looking in the refrigerator and saying how dirty and nasty it was and how she couldn't understand how come it wasn't clean. I said, well, I'm a disabled person. I got a neck injury, for one, and I'm trying to do this job making real estate deals, and I can't devote all my time to this. Plus, I'm still waiting for my application for the house, and I'm thinking this is not a good deal, you know. But I couldn't get a word in edgewise because the mafioso guy had to impress the side bitch because what are they? Both of them. He was the finance guy for the Russian Orthodox Church here on I Street up in North Highlands. And they kicked him out of the organization. They discommunicated him. because he wanted to get divorced from his wife. You see? So they kicked him out of the church, and then he's still married, but him and the side bitch is looking for another church to go get married in. Well, honey, I could have told her that. He ain't never gonna get divorced, because he's not gonna part with two houses on one property where he's got his wife in one and his mother in another, and they can raise goats and sheep. I think he had a sheep that he was selling. He ain't never gonna sell that land, so he can give the wife half. And if she came upon an unfortunate accident, well, that would be a blessing for him. So, you know, he had his side bitch and his daughter and her husband moving my stuff out of the house when I got back, because I had driven my car up to another city, gotten in the car with my partner, and we were going door knocking, looking at properties in distress. And so when he called me and said, "You need to come and get your stuff," I'm like, "What?" It was a Sunday afternoon. And by the time she took me back to my car and I got back down there, they had pretty much all my stuff sitting out on the street. That was the Ukrainian mafia dude. And it wasn't even his house. It was a house of a guy that was in the facilities down in the county that he never met before. But that guy was too scared to say anything against those, I don't know what you call them, sheriffs. He didn't want to say nothing against them, because they listen to the phone calls. You're talking through a glass and they listen to the phone calls. So if he would have said anything like, well, they forced me to let this guy sign the papers and all, they probably would have killed him up there. Yeah, see that? I can't really focus, I think, because the other stuff is in the front of the moon. So now I'm walking by the store again. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to make my live about. How I'm gonna match up the Adsby exchange with that's better. With the sub maps that I did. Oh, okay, Red. I don't know when you sent that text, when you sent that message, but it says BRB, so I'm not home yet. So that's the little store that I go to. I guess that strip up there is where their sign fell down when the wind blew one day. The guy rides his bike from West Sacramento over here. And he's not married. I told him, you better be careful of these guys who own these stores, and they pretend like they're your best friend, but they could be getting an insurance policy out with their name as the beneficiary, and just forge your name on it and then send the people in to rob the store. And what do you know, they get a payout on their insurance policy. A lot of that's a Freemason trick too. I try to tell people, because if you guys don't know, I watch a lot of true crime, and what I listen for is the patterns. Like, you have to be a pattern recognition expert to figure out what's going on in the world today. And so that's what I do. I listen for the patterns, like, oh, the father of the guy that whacked his parents and whack-a-mole, yeah, he was a plumber, or he was a maintenance guy, or he was a contractor, he was a pipe fitter, he was an electrician, he was a union man, he worked for the phone company. All those types of people have the opportunity to be in these SS societies. And they have a whole bunch of names. You guys can look up one I really didn't know about. But my dad's uncle was in the Hoo-Hoos. The Hoo-Hoos. Hoohoo, the Hoo-Hoo Club. I think they call it the catenated something. I'm trying to get where I could see the moon without having stuff in the way. I don't know if maybe it's going to get higher that I could see. Catenated, but if you put in Hoo-Hoo, you can look up this organization. What is it? It's a secret price fixing club for lumber. Lumber. That's why he was a realtor, because he was involved in the construction industry. They gave him a lumber company when he got out of the army. And then they gave my dad's younger brother a 7-Eleven franchise when he got out of the army, which, by the way, was during Vietnam, and he never left the country. He never left our country, but he served during the Vietnam era. How does that happen? Well, they put you to work right there in Arlington, right outside of DC. You don't have to go anywhere. And then what were they doing over there? Who knows? But we all know what they did with the fallen soldiers coming back from, who was that guy? It was a movie that was played by Denzel Washington. He played the big businessman, illegal businessman, who his friend was over there in Vietnam, sending the fallen soldiers back. And they were putting stuff in there. You guys know what I mean. But the fluff tube might say I'm bullying someone if I mention it, because they can be it and they can have clubs about it. But if KaliKaren mentions it, that they have these clubs and they do these things, it's hate speech and bullying and harassing, and that's not allowed. Yeah, it's focusing on the house roof. Let me see. I don't want to crash my bike, but can't have stuff in both my hands. So I got a phone in one hand, trying to ride my bike in the dark. Not very smart. But yeah, so I was mentioning when Red came on, the National Guard is pulling duty, watching over these areas where the tunnels have openings. The Chesapeake Bay, of course, Joint Andrews is right there. So I'm sure they have a lot of planes over them. I noticed too, when they're expecting an important flight in, any airport will just scramble and have someone in some kind of craft circling above there, like for hours before the anticipated arrival of any special delivery plane. And I started thinking more about it. Oh shit, I can't even see if there's a curb there or if it's enough for me to roll under. So I don't have a light on my bike right now. Yeah, so I think maybe they just closed this store down here. But I could get out on the main road and you guys could see the moon. Let's see if we could see it from here. There's always something in the way when you're in the city. That over there, they're building a huge new building at the hospital. So let me finish on the ASB exchange. I watched a flight, ASIS 665, was just coming back to Honolulu, and it looked like it went out over nothing. And so I looked to see where that was on the pilot map. And on the pilot map, it doesn't blur everything out like Google or maps.com, whatever. Maps.com blurs everything out when you try to focus on like these ancient islands. I think they're from Atlantis, because like the names were all crazy. I'm gonna have to make another video about it. Just do the screenshots and go through them. Because it's a Wake Atoll, and one of those places, Bikini Island, whatever, is probably out there too. That's where they tested the nuclear explosions, and they gave the soldiers sunglasses to put on. That's it, guys. What moon is that? The full moon. See, there's always that green dot. It's not an orb. It's some kind of reflection that comes through your lens or something. I don't know. Maybe it's the firmament. I don't know. But what I was saying is that area above where the Micronesian islands are, I'm going to put my phone back on the rack so I won't be able to see your message that fast. That area is like exponentially wider. It's like a pie. It's like a pie. And like at the North Pole, it would be the point part of the pie, piece of pie. And then the ice wall would be like the crust going around the outer edge. And so what they do in this kind of a math equation, you would divide it in the middle, put a ring around the middle, and divide it roughly in half, and that's called the equator. And then when you travel north from the equator, the land gets more narrower. The space shrinks together because it turns into a point at the very center of the pie. Well, the opposite is true if you go south from the equator. That means everything exponentially gets wider, right? More width until you hit the ice wall. And so they got like Australia there looking like it's like right below Asia. It's not. It's way far from Asia and way far from Africa, Australia. But because they make a ball out of it, you lose the perspective of how much wider south of the equator actually is, because it's like it's a pie, not a ball, not a basketball. And so what does Google do? It blurs that stuff out. So even if you know the point, which if I was looking on a Google map and I saw that flight coming back to Honolulu after a quick trip out into the middle of nowhere, it would blur out. When I started getting like zoomed in on it, it just gets all fuzzy and you can't see anything. So you have to use the pilot map, and then you can actually take coordinates from the actual planes, the actual coordinates, and you can actually plot these things and show proof, right? They even say the planes go knots, not miles per hour, but knots. What goes by knots? A freaking boat, right? A boat goes by knots. Oh, there they go. See, that's the, used to be the life flight. can hear it when my window's open in my room. But those things go out on the regular. I don't think they're bringing life flight people anymore. I think they're shuttling people around the state because, like, these campuses. There's this one, UC Davis, right here. You can see that building is big. The Shriners, right over there, like on Y Street, between Y and X Street, is over there, the Shriner Hospital. This, I don't know what it is. Maybe a new education building, maybe a new parking structure, I don't know. But these people got their own parking for the whole UC Davis campus here in Sacramento. But yeah, I was trying to explain. You could take the plots, take the planes, and you can look at the flights. Every time it goes from like North America over to Europe and down to Saudi Arabia, it flies north and then it flies south. So they make a big arc. And I imagine that if you applied the proper dimensions of a plane, right? You took it off the ball and applied the dimensions to turn it into a plane, a flat plane, then you would see, oh, thanks, man. Then you would see how Australia is out in the middle of nowhere. Well, Australia has, what did I say, 3 cloning centers? Well, where do they have the cloning centers? Near the freaking tunnels. Because the technology comes from the tunnels. And the cities, it read, nicely reminded me that they have underground. Hi. Oh, man. So yeah, they had the Disney, the one that goes through Florida, goes right under Orlando, Kissimmee. That's right where the freaking Disney shit is. Right? They got a cloning center there. Probably in Orange. See, the guard is also guarding LA, like off of LA. Malibu, the coast of California, and San Diego. But even though there's no subtunnel on the map that I had, but that map that I have is probably really old because it's from when they planned to go and, start fighting in them. If they are fighting in them, right? I think on my Telegram I put a TikTok video of the street blowing up in Joburg. The combis got thrown up in the air and everything. People got hurt. Big cracks opened up in the street for a big chunk of it. Well, it was an underground explosion that happened, and it was a little too rambunctious, and it broke through the upper level, so the street went up in the air, threw all the vehicles up in the air, people and everything, and then crashed back down. So, it's probably boring watching this video because there's nothing to see but darkness. But it is a little bit cool out here, but honest to God, my head still hurts from being assaulted in June. It's now August. And my headache is not gone away yet. Now you can see a little bit better. There's a little bit of light. See, they have these street lights everywhere, but they don't light up too good. They don't light up much. So it's still basically dark down here. But, let's see, I said Laredo, Corpus Christi, New Orleans, Pensacola, Tampa. The Daytona side, too, has a lot of activity. I just hadn't paid that much attention to it. And then, of course, the Delaware, whatever that water is in Delaware, they've been flying like these big Talon I forget what they are, but they're like really fast, super fast, like fighter jets. They've been flying that over Delaware the last couple days since that flight went out to the Wake Atoll. And I thought about it, I said, Wake, that's what everyone's doing. Everyone's waking up. So they made this trip to Wake Atoll. It's not on the flight records for this flight, this Australian military. That was ASY 665. There's no record of the flight on July 31st on its flight record. And when I looked it up, it said it had flown out of Honolulu at a certain time, but the actual picture was still showing that that plane was still on the ground in Honolulu. It was like 6 hours after it was supposed to have left. So I don't know if they froze that like they froze some of the other planes that I have caught going out to that atoll area where they have what I think is islands that are left over from the sunken Atlantis, where they blew themselves up with technology. And what's left is just like the ribbon islands, and they have all these weird names. So I did screenshots of all the names of those islands. But you see, people say, oh, why would they lie about a ball Earth? That's stupid. If it was a flat, they would say. Well, no, because if they wanted to hide a bunch of stuff, there's secret technology and portals to the underground and all this stuff. If they wanted to hide all that, they would tell you the Earth is a beach ball, spinning 60,000 miles per hour and hurtling through a vacuum of space and all this other nonsense that they got us believing. People will really fight you for that. And they say, oh, what is it, like a pizza, like a pancake? Well, I don't know. I just know it's not a freaking ball. That's what I know. I don't know. I can't say that I know what it is. I know what the Bible says it is, that there's a firmament above and there's waters above and waters below, and the firmament separates the two, and the Whore of Babylon sits on top of it. That's what I know from the Bible. Everything's all blurry. I probably don't have any battery left, but I can't see it. So I'll be uploading some more of the videos that I did with the ancient names of those islands out there, because almost all those islands out there, look, got airports, got an airstrip built on them. It's an island out in the middle of nowhere. And the Wake Atoll one is called Wake Island Wake Island Wildlife Refuge. Okay, what kind of wildlife they got out there? Was it coming from the portal? Because an atoll is like a belly button, right? It has an opening somewhere around the edge of it, but it's basically a circle of an island. Right? So it's like a belly button. Isn't that why? Didn't you wonder why would they test the nukes out on an island out in the middle of the water? Well, the reason they did it was because they weren't testing nothing. They were trying to close the portal up because of what was coming out of it. And they told the guys that they gave the sunglasses to, it was just a test. No, not a test. Not just a test. They were trying to blow something up down there. My opinion. I'm not a scientist. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not trying to bully anybody, fluff tube, but in my opinion, they were trying to close the portal up because of what was coming out of the portal. And they decided to change it to a ball Earth because they figured, well, that way we can hide all this territory down here where Australia is with 3 cloning centers, so they got to have 3 portals to the underground, right? Yeah. I forget what that guy said. I forget what the guy said. I wrote it down in my notes, so yeah, but he said there were there's like a couple of them in Israel, one in the United States. That one could be down in Florida, where they Donald Marshall said you can rent a clone and do whatever you want to Britney Spears for money. And that was the horrible part of it, is that she suffered whenever they did stuff to her clone. And I guess just like if you have a twin, sometimes twins, you know when the other twin dies, if they're not like, you know, if they're not like close to one another. You could have your twin live on the other side of the country. These people are gonna be, why don't you come in the house, and why are you out there smoking? And I hope they're not. Cloning center in Israel, 3 in Australia, probably 2 in Canada, and one in the U.S., one couple other places. I think he mentioned like 3 different cloning centers that he knew of. And this was a guy, the Sarge. I don't know. I don't subscribe to his channel, but I just listened to one of his podcasts the other day because my other admins post them on my Telegram. I don't always have time to watch them, and sometimes I don't feel like watching them because they're talking about, this great reset and all this, and not the reset, but the revaluation and the gold-backed money and all that. I don't know if I believe any of that. I mean, it looks like evidence of it, but it's like it had to be done in secret. So do we really know? Do we really know that it's happening? Well, it looks like it is happening. It looks like they're doing very careful operations to make sure that, if they do, like, pick someone up in one of these planes and take them for their last ride, that it all works out like it's supposed to, right? I heard what somebody was saying, if you're gonna not kill, but dispose of unwanted entities from other dimensions, that a cool thing to do is put them into a portal and then shut down the portal with them in it, and that way they can't really like come back, they can't come back. Because like that movie, The Pope's Exorcist, I saw, their idea was if the entity came out of a person, it would jump into someone else. So you had to have like a swine nearby or something like that. And they said there was 199 of these entities locked up underground somewhere. Well, maybe the good ones got locked up too, and now somebody let them go, and they're out here now, serving what people or entities deserve to be served. I thought about that too, because what are these rivers going dry? Ohio River, Euphrates River. What's under the river? Are there tunnels or the caves or whatever down there? And if the water's dried up, did they have access to go let undo the shackles or whatever? Like Prometheus was shackled, for giving humans fire. So when I go in, I'll do my other video. It's a struggle. I gotta get my bike through a whole bunch of stuff to get it inside. All right, I see Red is not back yet, so I'm gonna go, you guys. If you haven't come to my Telegram channel yet, it's Galileo0723, and my fan page for Dark Journalist is Dark Journalist Ideas Room, and that one has a lot of technology, hidden technology posted in it. And that one actually gets more views than my Galileo channel, because a lot of the people who subscribe to my Galileo channel also run channels themselves, and they probably don't have that much time to look on my channel. But the people who joined up the Dark Journalist Ideas Room and the chat, those people are like, that's probably the one or two channels that they watch, and that's one of them. Because I got a lot of resources and I post from a lot of different places, so I don't know what's gonna happen in here. I hope he's happy with his free tobacco that he got. Not gonna beat me over the head with a metal pole, I hope not. Nothing I could do, the stores are closed. I went twice, so if something else I gotta do, I'll have to do it tomorrow. Alright. So from Sacrament City, August the 1st on the Gregorian fake calendar, I'm signing out.